Hello everybody, my name is Hero of Warfare and welcome back to another one of my siege defense guides. Today we are covering Kairos and Tzeentch. So let's jump straight into it. With the garrison buildings there's not really too much to do when it comes to Tzeentch. There's only the regular garrison buildings and they don't provide a lot of good units, only some blue horror, some forsaken and a pink horror. And with the settlement building itself, you only get some blue horror, some forsaken, a hero with metal, and chaos knights and chaos fury. So the only really good unit you get is the chaos knights of Tzeentch, and that's only at the tier 3. So you don't really get many good units. And with the main settlement, with the capital building, you can of course do the same with all the demon factions. You can go for the portal one, or you can go for the I don't know what you call it, the fortress one, I guess. So the one on the right gives you more forsaken and more like human demons, I guess, and with the portal one you get more demon units, so more pink horrors and flamers and stuff like that, as you can see. And here you get more forsaken, more chaos knights and doom knights and lord of change and stuff like that. So there's not really much to it other than the garrison buildings itself, and there's no technology that gives you more supplies or anything like that. One thing that can be good to research though is the army abilities. Where is it? I believe it is here. Bolt of Change, that's the second one, which is okay. And where's the next one? Yeah, this one, Storm of Fire. That's the best one, of course, and it's pretty easy to get if you have a sorcerer in your army, and in your garrison you're always going to have one. So if you can research this pretty early on, then that will help greatly. So let's jump right into some replays. So unfortunately I don't have any big epic sieges today. These are pretty early on, the ones that I'm going to show you. And another unfortunate circumstance is that Tzeentch is actually one of, if not the weakest defense or siege defender in the Warhammer 3 races. And the reason for that is all of their towers are pretty damn bad. They are all just shooting regular arrows, though they do shoot 4 or like several arrows at a time, but that doesn't make up for the lack of area of effect like all of the other ones get. And they don't get much armor piercing like Slaanesh, for example, or even Khorne. So you can see right here, they don't do much damage. And the garrison units are also pretty bad. Sure, the blue horse can do a lot of damage, especially against like demon units like bloodletters or demonettes or whatever. But against regular chaos warriors, they have a lot of armor, which the blue horrors are not good against. But something you can do though, because you will always get the metal wizard in this garrison, is that you can use the Plague of Rust to help them out a little bit, and it will actually help a lot more than you might think. So let's just fast forward a little bit here. There is no huge strategy to this defense. Since these are all infantry units, I will just try to chokehold them or try to get them into the choke rather. And then just use the magic right here, the Searing Doom spell. It's pretty effective. It's 33% armor piercing and explosive damage is 100%, so it will do a lot of damage even against armored units. Here you can see that the demon hero actually melts thanks to the blue horse, since they do magical damage. So they're very good against lightly armored demon units, but they have such limited ammunition, only 4 per entity, though they have 160 entities, so they will be able to do a lot of damage, like a burst machine gun or something like that. But they run out of ammunition really quick, and they are really bad in melee. So once you run out of your initial ammunition, you are pretty screwed. The Forsaken are decent, they can hold for a little while and they do some damage. But the only thing that's really gonna save you is magic really. So keep your hero alive. That is super important. And I'm gonna show you one more replay. That's a wall, which is a walled defense. I did have another replay which is exactly the same as the first one there, so I'm not gonna bother showing that. But this one is a wall settlement, so this is a little bit different. And we also get some more units there. This isn't exactly the strongest army we're going up against either, so this is more of a like basic how to. If we're going up against something much stronger, then we probably wouldn't be able to actually defend. It of course depends on the army, but ogres, for example, Tzeentch is really bad against defending against ogres if they bring, you know, a decent army, because ogres are not demonic, so they will have no like physical resistance or anything like that, which they can shoot through. They have a lot of HP, a lot of mass, so they will just punch through anything you have really, and the Searing Doom spell won't do much against them either. So ogres are really dangerous against Tzeentch, just a heads up. At least in the Realms of Chaos, that's pretty... or you're going to fight a lot of ogres in the beginning, but in the Immortal Empires, we will just have to wait and see. So this is actually a Nurgle settlement initially, so the towers shoot, or the ones on the walls, they shoot Nurgle explosions, but even then, they're not really strong against the siege towers that are coming against us. So I'm just trying to focus the Chaos Warriors on the ground, and maybe even the Lord, putting some Forsaken up on the walls, and with the ones over here as well, just keeping the towers shooting for a little while they are coming in. Meanwhile, I have positioned all my guys over here, trying to hold this. Excuse me. So this is just a tower defense at this point, really. I'm gonna just hold like this choke point right here, and this choke point right here, and either here or here when they come through, and let the towers do as much damage as possible. All the towers are kind of crap, so it doesn't really matter which one you go for. Obviously there will be better stats for like higher tiers, but you also have to pay more supplies, of course. So it really just depends. Are the enemy going to scatter around all over the place, so you can actually get some towers all over the place to get some easy damage, or are they all coming on one point? Then of course it's better to upgrade the towers to tier 3 or tier 4, but they don't get any like tomb cannon towers or anything like that, which pretty much all the other ones get some sort of. So yeah, I hope CA actually changes that so every faction gets some kind of AoE towers, because the way it is now, the factions that doesn't have AoE, they are really lacking in damage from the towers. But even so, we are able to hold off these Corn Rebels or whatever they are. Forsaken can take out this guy relatively easy because of the magic attacks and relatively high melee attack and stuff. And over here you're going to see that the Flesh Hounds, they go down pretty fast against Blue Horse, but you can see how fast the ammunition just vanishes, right? So my hero is... where is he? There he is. Yeah, so I'm just trying to run him around, cast some spells. The AI are actually really good at dodging spells like Searing Doom when they are just walking somewhere, so you should try to pin them down into one spot before you actually throw that spell down. Otherwise you might waste a lot of magic, and your magic is pretty important. So this is of course a super nice opportunity. I think it's on cooldown right now, but in a second or two you're gonna see a Searing Doom here. Let's see how many kills we get or how much damage. from 9,200 to 12,000 basically. So yeah, that's pretty good. And at this point, there's not really much to say except for letting my units just kill them. So I'm sorry, but Tzeentch is really unimaginative when it comes to the siege defenses. There's no like Slanesh quickness to outmaneuver and flank them. There's no summons like it is with Khorne, and there's no... well, I guess it's a little bit like turtling as with Nurgle, but you do have some more options with Tzeentch. I feel like you can hit and run a little bit with like the Furies and some of the Forsaken, but I don't really recommend it unless in certain situations. But yeah, basically just try to get them into a choke point and use your Searing Doom against infantry. If you're going up against something like the Ogres, then try to hold them in one spot with the Forsaken or the Hero or even Furies, and let the Blue Horse do as much damage as possible, and try to spread out as much as possible and let the towers do most of the work really. But if it's a small settlement, then there's not really that much you can do against something like the Ogres, so it really depends who you're going up against. And if you're going up against someone like Kislev or the Empire or High Elves or Dark Elves or something like that in Immortal Empires, then it's gonna be really difficult to defend with this, because they will usually bring a lot of archers, which will just melt through anything you have. So I feel like Tzeentch, they are going to need some help in the settlement defense area. Otherwise you will have to get some armies to defend your settlements, because the garrison themselves are not that great, unfortunately. But that was everything I had to show you today, and next time we will cover Grand Cathay. So I'll see you all then, and have a great day. Goodbye.